Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 3 of the anime series, Alice to Zouroku, and the plot. She certainly thickens in this episode, and it's such an interesting series, this, because if you go back to the very first episode, which was double the length, they really ramped up the tension, the drama, the action, the mystery of what the hell is going on, and everything like that. And then you get to episode 2, and they're really playing up the humor and the quirkiness and more average sort of, tonally more average tones to what traditional anime sort of is. And then we're back to the drama and the intensity in this episode. And I'm left once again gobsmacked by that. We're picking up very much where we left off, with the pigs having run amok in Zouroku's flower shop, the people he called in having arrived and everything. And these people are very intriguing to me, because I don't think they actually got around to, saying what their employment is, what their affiliation is or anything like that. But it seems very much antithetical to the research facility Sana escaped from. They're very much aware of these beings, these dreams of Alice, these children with these abilities, these cards. Apparently, each of them, as per the dialogue, only has one, with the exception of Sana, who apparently has anything she wants. She can literally create anything she fantasizes. It can become a reality. And her power, as compared to everyone else's, knows no bounds, apparently. And that's very much why this research facility is consumed with studying her and maybe trying to siphon out that ability and implant it into others, as again is referenced in the dialogue in the debut of Minnie C, who, as I suspected, and I wasn't sure, goes back to the first episode. We actually see her being one of the, sort of people sent by the research facility to recapture Sana, even at that early stage, because of the giant arms coming out of the sky and trying to grab onto her and everything like that. And then another, dream of Alice, another girl came out and tried to save her life and told her to get away and everything like that. And so we see that Minnie C is, reintroduced in this episode, and we find out a lot more about her. Very surprisingly, does she turn out to be a former second lieutenant in the Marines, and she lost her husband, and now her power that has become manifest takes its form as if it is him reaching down from the heavens. And I thought it was very interesting, the line of dialogue where he's telling her in confidence, until meeting you, I wasn't afraid of dying. But then toward the end, when you find out what Minnie C is capable of, that she can wreak havoc in a sense, it almost then lends to the idea, was he actually saying, now that I've met you, I'm afraid of what you're capable of, rather than I'm afraid of being taken away from you? It's open to interpretation, and that's something I really dig about that, because Minnie C, for all intents and purposes, seems like a very nice, compassionate young woman. She's the eldest so far of these ability wielders that we've seen. I think she's probably the eldest we've seen. Sana potentially being the youngest. I don't really know. But, it's just strange to me that then this all coincides with, to think of the research facility having these children with these abilities, they're, confining them, they're studying them and manipulating them and whatever like that, as well as Minnie C being a part of that, and Sana having been a part of that. But now this other organization, these people Zouroku called in, I guess this is a wider known thing than I might have at first assumed, because it seems, again, like their whole organization is antithetical to the research facility, who is very much about mining that power out of these minors, these children, and manipulating it to their ends, which Minnie C kind of falls in line with. She can kind of, agree with that outlook on utilizing and exploiting the powers in that such a way. But then we see she's also got her own sort of, things that she wants to bring about, in the fact that, well, if Sana has these powers where she can literally manifest anything, might this then reunite her with her lost husband and things of that nature? So she's kind of willing to become threatening and arguably sadistic in how they capture Sana, and they've tied her up, they've made it so that she can't be followed and everything like that. As we saw, these people who come in per Zouroku's request, they fit her with this little smiley face or little emoji pin that's actually kind of a location GPS device type of thing. So they know where she is at all times. And of course, this has been eschewed once she's been captured. I guess they knew what it was and knew how to keep it hidden where they were taking her and everything like that. And it's insane to me, because then we find the woman who is with the guy that is the friend of Zouroku. She too is a dream of Alice. She too has this ability. She summons that little crystalline, sort of crown latticework thing that is inherent to these dreams of Alice girls. And it just mind boggles me. It's like, what the hell is going on in this world? Are these beings that well known that there are multiple organizations? I just thought maybe it was just the one research facility, but in fact, apparently it's much wider range than that, and there are other organizations, or at least one other, also seeking to understand such abilities and everything like that. This woman, this deputy, whatever she is, has led the merry chase after Minnie C and the kidnappers of Sana to try to find her and everything. And it comes on the coattails of what might have been a really heartening moment to sort of refamiliarize ourselves with the feelings that were ever present in the previous episode between Sanai and Sana. That idea of Sana needing a family, having an elder sister of sorts in Sanai, her being so welcoming to Sana and everything like that, even in spite of her powers and her abilities. Zouroku is far more reluctant, but it's one of those things where he's kind of like, once his buddy mentions, why don't you take Sana in? Why don't you kind of adopt her and everything? Which answered to my speculation to a point. I put forth two speculations. One was that, could Zouroku have called in people to take Sana away, take her into captivity, put her somewhere where she'd be safe, protected, and they could keep an eye on her and everything like that, which turned out to be the case. That was the one alternative speculation I put forth, when I also said maybe it's Zouroku, trying to bring about a way of getting adoption papers, falsified, doctored up, post-dated and everything like that, so he could take Sana in officially. And it's interesting that it ended up being the latter, where he actually did. He wanted these people to take Sana and protect her and keep her safe and help her to grow up and everything like that. And this guy flips the tables on him and is like, well, why don't you take her in? Sana, how would you like to live permanently with Zouroku and Sanai and everything like that? She needs a family. And so he was actually more of a voice of reason than I would have thought, than I would have at first expected, in the face of Zouroku, who did kind of want to get rid of her. And then he's thinking about it. He's seeing how his granddaughter Sanai is reacting to the idea. She'd be very happy with that. They have a really great sisterly bond, and that's exactly what Sana needs. She needs family. She needs guidance. She needs to not be treated so much as an outcast and an alien and a thing to be poked and prodded and studied by force. She needs love and compassion, and that's what she might have if Zouroku took her in. So he's begrudging, and again, he's like, well, with everything you did, with all the havoc you were wreaking, don't you want to say something to me? She has to go to the bathroom. She excuses herself. But when she's in the bathroom, she is so delighted about this idea. It's making her so happy. She's giddily laughing and chuckling. And then she says, and you know what? After I'm done in here, I'm going to go and I'm going to apologize to Zouroku. I owe him that. But then she's kidnapped by a potentially, harmful organization, by a former military presence who has these abilities, and is clasping forcibly so her down to the floor of this vehicle they're taking her away in. She's already tied up. She's already gagged and blinded, wearing a blindfold. She's terrified beyond reproach, and it's just adding that much more insult to injury that Minnie C calls forth this ability, these arms from the heavenly realm that represent her lost husband, and is just forcibly choking her and holding her to that floor, with the added awareness that she's doing it for a selfish purpose of her own. She's just kind of going with the motions of this research facility because she wants to tap into that ability that Sana has. And so it was just like, whoa, whoa, man. Once again, an unexpected group of twists and turns in the direction, the tone of this series. It's all over the place tonally, but it's nonetheless captivating and engrossing. And I really want to see Sana saved. I want to see, I would love, talking about way down the line, the end game, I would love to see them being able to get rid of these research facility creeps and anyone who is using these abilities for nefarious or selfish purposes. And I would love to see, if not being able to be entirely removed of her abilities, I would love to see Sana be able to tone it down and actually have a familial surrounding, family to take care of her and care about her and let her grow up more normally and naturally as are the sort of more productive order of things compared to the life she has as yet known. And so, yeah, as I say, I mean, just tonally, this was like another smack upside the head of an episode. I mean, it's somewhat comical at the beginning with all the piggies and everything like that. And one of the pigs looked different, and the guys who took them to study them because they were manifest via her abilities noticed that the one odd-looking one wasn't there, and we see that he stayed behind, and Sana. They put the question to Sana, what would happen if you wanted to get rid of this piggy? And that kind of terrifies her. She knows enough that probably something bad would happen to it, and she doesn't want to bring that about. She doesn't want to kill this animal or send it into a voidless nothingness or whatever might happen to it, disintegrate it. And so at least she has a humanitarian compassion, even for her young age, even for the mistreatment she has as yet suffered. And so there is hope for her of the grandest order. And it's people like Zouroku and Sanai and hopefully these people Zouroku called in to lead her on a better path. But first, they must answer to this research facility and all the unfortunate children. It would be great if they could save them all, really. Although I don't know how much Minnie C could be saved with her selfish reasoning for even dealing with any of this and doling out the powers she does. But at the end of the day, what an intriguing series this is. So far, I have been surprised by something, if not myriad things, every episode. We're only 3 episodes in. I can't wait to see how much further and wider these surprises go. And so I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of Alis to Zouroku Episode 3. If you've seen it as well, love or to hate it, anything goes in the comments below. But I was gobsmacked. Let me know if you were as well. And any predictions, any speculations you might have for the futures of these characters. Yeah. So otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.